Beneath your socially acceptable exterior lies the battered corpse of your true self. You aren't tired. Your soul is suffocating from the exhausting labor of faking your existence. Watch until the end to violently tear this mask away before you quietly die in manufactured comfort. The introduction and the illusion of free will. It is exactly 3 o'clock in the morning. The relentless, deafening machinery of the world has finally exhausted itself, leaving you abandoned in the suffocating silence of your own bedroom. In this terrifying temporal void, stripped of your notifications, your emails, and the ambient noise of a society desperately trying to distract itself, a phantom creeps into the absolute periphery of your mind. It is a dread so primal, so deeply unsettling, that it feels like a physical weight crushing your chest. Who are you beneath the titles? What are you actually doing with the rapidly diminishing, unrecoverable days of your life? Is this endless cycle of exhaustion and fleeting dopamine truly all there is? The inner multiverse warmly welcomes you to this journey into the shadows of your own mind. If you find yourself echoing these terrifying midnight questions, if you feel an undeniable hunger to shatter the illusion you have been living within, I urge you to subscribe to the channel right now. Your support is the vital energy that empowers us to continue creating these deep, unapologetic explorations into the human soul. When that midnight panic strikes, we almost always swat it away. We reach for the glowing screen on the nightstand, injecting ourselves with a digital anesthetic to numb the sudden, violent spike of existential terror. Yet, the brutal, unpromising axiom laid down by Socrates millennia ago remains standing in the dark. The unexamined life is not worth living. To exist without violently interrogating the very architecture of your daily reality is to be nothing more than a biological automaton, blindly converting oxygen into carbon dioxide until the bodily machinery inevitably gives out. You see, we are birthed into a meticulously authored hallucination, a grand, deceptive narrative that we tragically mistake for natural law. From the absolute moment of your cognitive awakening, you were placed onto an invisible, frictionless conveyor belt. The societal assembly line whispered the commands into your ear before you could even form your own thoughts. Acquire exceptional grades to enter a prestigious institution. Secure a sterile, soul-crushing occupation. Purchase a concrete box you cannot afford with phantom money you do not possess. Chain yourself to a lifetime of debt, and then quietly, obediently, wait for death in an armchair of manufactured comfort. We accept this tragic trajectory without a single scream of protest, falsely worshiping it as the absolute pinnacle of human achievement. It is a mass, collective hypnosis, a profound and tragic illusion of free choice. I watch people violently defend their career paths, their luxury purchases, and their meticulously curated lifestyles, completely blind to the agonizing truth that these decisions were never truly born from their own souls. They are merely the downstream consequences of an insatiable, primitive craving to be validated by a tribe of strangers. We choose the prestigious firm not out of a burning passion for the craft, but for the shallow status it signals. We buy the luxury vehicle not for its engineering, but to project a desperate dominance over people we do not even care about. We are sleepwalking through our only chance at existence. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung pierced this veil with terrifying clarity when he warned us. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. We are ruled by a vast subterranean ocean of inherited fears, suppressed traumas, and conditioned biases. This invisible puppeteer violently dictates who you love, what you fear, and where you fail. When we inevitably find ourselves trapped in miserable marriages or dead-end careers, we have the intellectual cowardice to throw our hands up and blame destiny. We call it bad luck, or the mysterious will of the universe. To awaken is to finally look in the mirror and realize that what you have been calling fate your entire life is simply your own terrified refusal to take the steering wheel. The masks we wear and the exhaustion of the act. To finally grasp the steering wheel of your own destiny, you must first recognize the heavy, suffocating disguises you have been forced to wear since childhood. We do not arrive in adulthood as our authentic selves. We arrive as highly trained actors in a sprawling, tragic play we never auditioned for. From the moment we first seek the approval of our parents, our teachers, and our peers, we begin crafting a psychological armor known as the persona. It starts innocently enough, a polite smile here, a suppressed tear there, a quiet agreement to avoid a loud conflict. But over the years, this survival mechanism calcifies into a permanent mask. You learn to silence your wildest eccentricities because society deems them inappropriate. You bury your profound sadness because the world demands relentless, profitable optimism. You become a master of social camouflage, expertly molding your opinions, your passions, and your very voice to fit the exact shape of whatever room you happen to walk into. The tragedy is not just that we wear these masks, but that we eventually forget we are wearing them at all. I have sat across from individuals who have spent decades climbing corporate ladders or building flawless suburban families, only to look into their eyes and see an absolute haunting emptiness. They have achieved everything the script demanded, yet they feel completely dead inside. This is the brutal cost of chronic inauthenticity. Maintaining a fabricated version of yourself requires a colossal, invisible expenditure of psychic energy. It is the reason you feel so profoundly exhausted at the end of a day where you did nothing but sit in meetings and nod at things you did not believe in. You are not physically tired. Your soul is exhausted from the sheer, unending labor of pretending to be someone else. Beneath that polished, socially acceptable exterior lies the battered corpse of your inner child, the version of you that once knew exactly what it loved and exactly what it despised before the world told it to be quiet and conform. We abandon our true desires out of a primal terror of abandonment. We would rather be miserable and accepted than joyful and alienated. But this is a devil's bargain that slowly erodes your psychological immune system. When you constantly betray your own boundaries to keep the peace, you are silently teaching yourself that your own truth does not matter. The resulting cognitive dissonance manifests as that low-grade anxiety, that chronic depression, that unnameable dread that haunts your quietest moments. Awakening requires the terrifying courage to reach up and violently tear the mask away, exposing your raw, unprotected face to a world that may not like what it sees. It is the agonizing but necessary process of disappointing the expectations of others so that you can finally stop disappointing yourself, confronting the shadow and the alchemy of pain. Once the mask begins to fracture under the unbearable weight of living a lie, you are immediately forced to face the terrifying darkness you have hidden behind it. This is the realm of the shadow, the damp, subterranean basement of the human psyche where we exile everything we have been told is unacceptable. It is the graveyard of your repressed anger, your unspeakable grief, your taboo desires, and your unresolved traumas. Modern society is completely terrified of this darkness. We have built an entire culture around the desperate avoidance of pain. We are bombarded with the toxic doctrine of endless positivity, taught to medicate our sorrow, swipe away our boredom, and purchase our way out of existential despair. When a negative emotion arises, we immediately seek to numb it, treating our own psychological pain as if it were a malignant disease to be eradicated, rather than a profound messenger begging to be heard. But this frantic escape from the shadow is exactly what keeps us enslaved. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. The pain you are running from is not your enemy. It is the absolute prerequisite for your evolution. I have learned through my own bitter descents into the dark that suffering is the furnace of human transformation. When you suppress your anger, it does not disappear. It metastasizes into resentment and apathy. When you bury your grief, it freezes your capacity to experience joy. Your demons do not die in the dark. They lift weights in the basement, growing stronger, waiting for the perfect moment of weakness to hijack your behavior. They sabotage your relationships, fuel your addictions, and keep you trapped in loops of self-destruction. To become whole, you must stop running and turn to face the monster. You must invite your pain to the table and ask it why it is screaming. This is the sacred alchemy of the human soul, the transmutation of deep trauma into profound wisdom. It requires you to sit in the burning fire of your own shame, your own guilt, and your own inadequacy without reaching for a distraction. You must learn to witness your own brokenness with radical, unforgiving honesty, yet wrap that honesty in absolute compassion. When you integrate your shadow, when you finally own the darkest, most ugly parts of your history, they lose their power to control you. You stop projecting your own unhealed wounds onto your partner, your children, and the world. You reclaim the massive reserves of energy you were using to keep those demons locked away. The path to the light does not bypass the darkness, it leads directly through the very center of it. The abyss of meaninglessness and the courage to create. Staring directly into that suppressed darkness inevitably brings you to the very edge of the existential abyss, where the terrifying realization dawns that the universe owes you absolutely no meaning. When you strip away the societal illusions, the religious dogmas, and the comforting fairy tales we tell ourselves to sleep at night, you are left standing in a vast, silent, indifferent cosmos. There is no grand architect holding a master blueprint for your life. There is no predetermined destiny waiting to be fulfilled. This realization, the confrontation with absolute nothingness, is the most dizzying, nausea-inducing experience a human mind can endure. It is the birthplace of nihilism, the seductive trap that whispers, if nothing inherently matters, then why try at all? Why endure the suffering? I have watched brilliant minds surrender to this void, collapsing into a cynical, paralyzed apathy, using the meaninglessness of the universe as an excuse to live small, cowardly lives. But to stop at nihilism is a catastrophic failure of the imagination. The silence of the universe is not a curse, it is the ultimate canvas of human freedom. If life has no inherent meaning, it means you are completely unshackled from the burden of finding it. You are not a detective searching for a hidden treasure. You are the artist holding the brush. You are absolutely, terrifyingly responsible for forging your own purpose from the raw, chaotic materials of your existence. This is the heavy crown of true existential freedom. It means you can no longer blame your parents, your circumstances, or a silent God for the emptiness in your chest. You must become the sole author of your own narrative. This requires a ferocious, almost defiant brand of courage. It means looking into the void and daring to declare what is valuable to you. You decide that your art matters. You decide that loving your family with everything you have matters. You decide that easing the suffering of another living creature is a worthy use of your fleeting time on this rock. Meaning is not something you passively discover under a stone. It is a fire you must actively ignite and relentlessly protect against the freezing winds of apathy. We are the meaning makers. We are the universe's mechanism for experiencing itself. By taking total ownership of this terrifying freedom, you stop being a victim of a random cosmos and become a deliberate architect of reality. You realize that the absence of a pre-written script is the very thing that makes your personal rebellion so breathtakingly beautiful. The awakening and the rebellion of true existence. Embracing this absolute freedom transforms your dread into a fierce, burning rebellion, sparking the final awakening into a life that is unapologetically your own. This awakening is not a peaceful Zen-like state of eternal bliss, as the spiritual marketplace would have you believe. It is a violent, earth-shattering paradigm shift. It feels less like enlightenment and more like a car crash. When you finally wake up, the world does not become easier. It becomes infinitely more real. You can no longer tolerate the superficial conversations that once filled your days. You can no longer stomach the soul-crushing job that trades your unrecoverable hours for meaningless paper. You can no longer remain in relationships that demand you shrink yourself to fit their fragile comfort zones. Awakening is destructive. It burns down everything in your life that is false. And for a while, you will stand in the ashes, completely terrified and profoundly alone. But from those ashes, something magnificent is born. A life of brutal, exquisite authenticity. To live awake is to live with a sense of urgent, defiant vitality. You begin to make choices not based on what is safe or what is expected, but on what makes your spirit vibrate with truth. You find the courage to quit the prestigious career, to pursue the quiet art that makes you feel alive. You find the strength to walk away from the toxic love that was slowly poisoning your self-worth. You start speaking your mind, allowing your words to fall where they may, completely detached from the desperate need to be universally liked. This is the ultimate rebellion against a society of sleepwalkers. It is the realization that your time here is devastatingly short, a brief spark in the endless dark, and to waste it living someone else's life is the only true sin. I am not telling you this will be easy. The world will resist your awakening. It will call you selfish, crazy, or unstable because your newfound freedom is a terrifying mirror reflecting their own self-imposed prisons. Let them judge. Their opinions belong to the illusion. You must walk forward with your chest open to the chaos, accepting both the staggering beauty and the agonizing tragedy of being fully alive. You must choose to feel everything, the soaring heights of authentic connection and the crushing depths of inevitable loss, because numbness is just a dress rehearsal for death. This is the journey of the inner multiverse. It is not about finding a safe harbor. It is about learning to sail your ship directly into the storm, laughing at the thunder, and finally, truly, living before you die. Yuli live. We must embark on the harrowing but deeply liberating journey of shedding the heavy, suffocating masks society has forced upon us. For too long, we have exhausted our spirits playing roles in a script we never wrote, sacrificing our authentic selves for the fleeting comfort of external approval. This chronic inauthenticity breeds an inner emptiness that cannot be cured by superficial distractions. True awakening begins when we bravely confront our shadow, the repressed pain, anger, and trauma hidden in the dark basement of our psyche. Instead of numbing this pain, we must transmute it into wisdom through radical, compassionate honesty. Staring into the abyss of our own darkness inevitably brings us face to face with the terrifying silence of an indifferent universe. Yet, this existential void is not a curse of nihilism. It is the ultimate canvas of human freedom. Because life lacks inherent meaning, we are unshackled to become the deliberate architects of our own purpose. Embracing this absolute freedom sparks a violent, beautiful rebellion against a world of sleepwalkers. It burns away everything false, leaving only a life of brutal, exquisite authenticity. It demands that we stop seeking safety and start choosing what makes our spirits vibrate with truth. Though the world may resist and judge your newfound freedom, you must step forward into the chaos, fully feeling the staggering beauty and agonizing tragedy of existence. Ultimately, the journey inward is not about escaping the storm, but learning to navigate it with a defiant, wide-open heart, ensuring that you truly live before you die. The profound lesson why of human existence is not death, but living an entirely fabricated life to appease an indifferent society. The universe does not owe you a purpose. You are entirely responsible for forging your own meaning from the raw, chaotic materials of your existence. Authentic freedom cannot be achieved by bypassing your pain or hiding behind toxic positivity, but by walking directly through the very center of your deepest wounds and fears. How to apply this to your life today? Be daily compliance. Notice the moments today when you force a polite smile, suppress your true opinion, or say yes to something your soul screams no to. Choose one specific area of your life to stop performing and set a boundary. Furthermore, the next time a surge of anxiety, sadness, or anger arises, do not reach for your phone, food, or a distraction to numb it. Sit with the discomfort for just 5 minutes. Ask your pain what it is trying to teach you. Start reclaiming your psychic energy from the expectations of others and intentionally direct it toward a quiet passion, an art form, or a relationship that makes you feel genuinely alive. Question for you. What is one mask or societal expectation are in your daily life? And what do you think would happen if you finally decided to take it off? Please kindly share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your unique perspective is incredibly valuable and might be exactly what someone else needs to read today to feel less alone on their journey. If you found this content meaningful, please subscribe to the channel to support our work and help us stay motivated to bring you more deep, thought-provoking content in the future.